Over 20,000 Russian troops trying to storm Chasiv Yar, Budanov says Ukraine to face difficult situation from mid-May. Around 20,000 to 25,000 Russian soldiers are trying to storm Chasiv Yar and the settlements in the city's outskirts, the Khortytsia Group of Forces spokesperson Nazar Voloshin said on national TV on April 22. Chasiv Yar lies around 10 kilometers west of Bakhmut in Donetsk Oblast and 50 kilometers, 31 miles, north of Avdiivka, cities Russia captured in May 2023 and February 2024, respectively. Russian troops have been focusing their efforts near Chasiv Yar, which they see as crucial for further advances toward Kostiantynivka, Kramatorsk, and Sloviansk, the Ukrainian military said. Ukrainian troops are fighting off Russian paratroopers with the 98th Guards Airborne Division's 217th Guards Airborne Regiment in the area near Chasiv Yar, Voloshin said. Russian troops are constantly storming Ukrainian positions but are failing to gain a foothold and are retreating, he added. Chasiv Yar is ours now. The situation around the city is difficult, but the city is under full control of our defense forces. There is no Russian army in the city, the spokesperson said. Volodymyr Chernyak, a Ukrainian National Guard officer, said earlier that Russian forces managed to gain a foothold around the village of Bodanivka, 3 kilometers northeast of Chasiv Yar. Moscow's proxies claimed on April 5 that Russian troops had entered Chasiv Yar's suburbs, but Ukraine's military later refuted that statement. In an interview with NBC News published on April 21, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia will attempt to capture the town of Chasiv Yar in Donetsk Oblast, just west of the Russian-occupied Bakhmut, by May 9. Russia celebrates Victory Day on May 9, a heavily militarized holiday marking the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during World War II. Zelensky's comments align with those made by Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky on April 14, amid a deteriorating situation in the region as Ukrainian ammunition and supplies run short. Ukraine is about to face a difficult, but not catastrophic situation on the front in the near future, starting from mid-May. Ukraine's military intelligence chief Kirill Budanov said in an interview with the BBC published on April 22. Amid delays in U.S. aid and intensifying Russian attacks, Kiev has entered what some have called the most difficult phase of the full-scale war since early 2022. A difficult situation awaits us in the near future. But it will not be catastrophic, let's be clear, Budanov told the BBC on April 19, days before the U.S. House of Representatives approved additional aid for Ukraine. There will be no Armageddon, as many are saying. We will not talk about it at length now, but there will be a difficult period. Mid-May, early June. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russia may launch a major offensive either at the end of May or in June. Speaking on the topic of how Russian forces changed since the start of the full-scale war, Budanov acknowledged that Moscow's infantry has better equipment now than before. At the same time, Russia is dealing with the deteriorating quality of military vehicles and other heavy hardware since it is mainly a repaired, restored equipment from warehouses for long-term storage. As for the quality of the personnel, those who took part in the first phase of the full-scale invasion in 2022 were real professionals, contractors with combat experience. But since then, almost none of them are left. Russia is fighting with mobilized forces. According to Budanov, Russian morale has improved following their capture of Avdiivka, but this was a temporary phenomenon. Following the conquest of Avdiivka, a key frontline city in Donetsk Oblast, Russia began focusing its efforts on Chasiv Yar, a town west of occupied Bakhmut. Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine's armed forces Oleksandr Syrsky said on April 13 that the situation on Ukraine's eastern front has significantly deteriorated in recent days. The situation in Novomykhailivka in Donetsk Oblast is tense but under control, Yaroslav Cheperny, the spokesperson of Ukraine's 79th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade, told the Kiev Independent on April 22 after Russia claimed to have captured the village earlier in the day. Novomykhailivka is located in the region's Pokrovsk district, around 10 kilometers south of occupied Mariinka. During Ukraine's last census in 2001, the village had a population of 1,400. Russian troops are constantly storming Ukrainian positions with and without armored vehicles, Cheperny told the Kiev Independent. The 79th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade reported on April 19 that Russia had lost over 300 pieces of equipment over 6 months of fighting around Novomykhailivka. The battle for the village has been ongoing since the end of autumn, and it has since become the location of one of the largest graveyards of enemy equipment of the Russian-Ukrainian war, the brigade said. Russia concentrated as many as 30,000 fighters on the narrow section of the front in its attempts to capture the village, according to the brigade. Ukraine's general staff had mentioned the village in its morning update on April 22 as one of the locations where the Ukrainian military continues to hold back the enemy.